Okay, hi everybody, it's Quilt to Dream. This is Yvonne, and I just did a new swap. It is called hashtag Hexy All the Things Swap. This is April 24th, and I believe that the sign-ups stop on the 26th, which is Wednesday. And hopefully it'll be a good swap. It's going to be 50 hexies, basted, glue basted, or sew basted, which I intend to do a video on both, how I like to do mine, just in case you've never done it before. Glue basting to me is the very easiest thing to do, and I started out sew basting them. We're also going to do one small handmade object, and then we're going to do the loaded pocket. So today the video is going to be on the loaded pocket. So the back piece, we're going to cut it at 8 by 8 inches wide by 10 inches long. We're going to do a front piece at 7 wide, 9 inches long, and a pocket 7 wide, 4.5 inches long. So I'm just going to do one pocket for now to keep it simple. And this is what you're going to need. Now, I'm a quilter. Most of you guys that are going to be doing the swap with me are quilters. So I wanted to bring you the easiest. Now, I thought I made a whole video on how to put this one together, and it has 2 pockets. But I think that the lamination on this, because these were like binder inserts that, like dividers that you would put into a binder, but I think that the lamination on it kind of made it harder to work with. So I decided that this wouldn't be the easiest one. Actually, the one that I made this morning, what we're going to make now is a manila folder like this. You'll need 2 manila folders to do this particular one, and the small pocket. I left the small pocket off, and I was directionally challenged with the skates, so I do these kind of things all the time, and I just, lined it on the inside and kind of eyeballed this. So we'll do just a basic one, and I'll show you when you need to glue on your paper. So in order to do that, you're going to need a mega glue stick. You're going to need a pen or a pencil at the very minimum. I have hem tape, which I found was the easiest to use, but I do have double-sided tape, which does work also if you don't have the hem tape, or score tape would be the best thing. This is just as a quilter, I had hem tape laying around. Also, this is my paper rotary cutter, which obviously I use just for paper. I have it marked with this gold washi so that I know I have one for fabric, one for paper. I don't use the one for fabric for paper because when you're using your rotary cutter on paper, it dulls the blade. So therefore it won't cut your fabric. So you don't want to do that. You'll have to keep running over and over it, and eventually it'll skip and things like that. So what I usually do is when my blade and my fabric cutter isn't as sharp anymore and it needs to be replaced, I'll put it in my paper cutter. It works just fine still in paper for a while, and then that way it doesn't go straight into the trash can, and it's a way that you could recycle. And I have 2 cutters, so that worked out perfect for me. You can use washi on this like I've done here on the sides. You could use washi or regular tape if you have that as well on some of these points here. I just wanted to show you that you don't have to have the glue and everything that's going to make it easy. Now, since I am a quilter today, I'm going to be using this quilt ruler I have in my mat here, but if you don't have that, you can use a regular ruler with a pencil. I'll actually cut the first one so that you can see me use the pencil, regular scissors, which also I have fabric scissors and paper scissors. These have a washi rolled around it. So I know these are my paper scissors because they look the same, which is crazy. And I have a whole big mess here off screen that you might be able to see. And then my hero marker is outside and I don't want to go get it. It's a little bit rainy today. So I'm going to be using my butter knife, which can score and also be used like a bone folder. You can use your bone folder, hair marker, or a butter knife will work just as good, and I'm going to use that today. All right, so the first piece that we're going to do, I think I covered everything that we're going to need. So the first piece that I'm going to do is the back piece, which is 8 wide by 10. So I'm going to show you exactly what I would do. I'm going to come in here. Make sure I'm in frame. Okay. Let me just, oops. All right. I'm going to come in here. This is, it's going to be 8 wide by 10 long. So you need to watch out for all your creases and everything. And so I'm going to go from, I'm actually going to go from the other direction. It's going to be easier. Okay. And it really doesn't matter about this drawing in here. You could actually cover all of it with paper, but I'm not going to cover the inside. I'm going to do like I did in the last one and only cover that little bit. So it's 8 by 10 wide. So the first one that I'm going to do, I'm going to show you, I'm going to draw it out with my trusty pencil to show you that you can do it the old-fashioned way. And you know, if you have your ruler, you would have to mark. So it is possible not to have the tools, not to have any special tools. So I have my marked line, 8 by 10. I'm gonna come in here on the line, try to get it as straight as possible. It's a little sticky because I cut, that hem tape is super strong. All right. See, I already cut into the line a little bit, but it's really forgiving. You know, it's just like quilting. If you're not perfectly straight, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not too noticeable. Okay, so we've got our 8 by 10. I'm going to go ahead and cut all the pieces out, and then we will come back in and do the pocket. So the next piece is going to be, I'm going to label it. 8 by 10 is the back piece. So that I know what I'm doing. Okay, and the front piece is 7, front piece is going to be 7 by 9. This time, since I showed y'all that I can do it manually, I'm going to come in here and just cut this one with my rotary blade, just like as if it were fabric. And see, this blade's getting a little bit dull, so put some pressure on it. All right, so there's our front piece. And we're going to do one pocket 7 wide, and I'm going to go ahead and use the bottom of this page that I have everything laying on. 7 wide by 4.5 long. Oops. You can use your mat to cut, but I was always taught to use the ruler because the mat lines could be different than your ruler, which I didn't know that, but now I do. All right, so now we're gonna take the back piece and we are going to score in from the sides a 1/2 inch and 1 inch. I'm going to take 1/2 inch on my ruler from the edge, and I am just going to press into this. This is going to be on the inside of the pocket is where I'm going to score. So I'll take it 1 inch from the edge and score again. Whoops. I got crazy with my hand. Okay. Make sure everything gets in there. I'm going to go to the bottom. Now, if this is a directional, or it is going to be directional, I would make sure that I know that this is my top and this is where the bottom is, because you don't want it upside down like the roller skates. Thank you for showing you that lesson. Hopefully you don't have to learn it. I continually learn about learning the same lesson seems like a part of my life. I wish it was just only that one time, but obviously we wouldn't all be using sandpapers. Okay, so you can see the score lines here. Now on this guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper scissors and I'm going to cut right across here. It's just kind of like boxing the corner, but we're going to go straight across. And if you consider that like your, where did it go? So you can see it, like your stitch seam right there. Don't cut into it, just right on the other side of it. For you paper crafters, you just know don't cut into the score line, but my quilting friends know what I'm talking about. If you cut into your stitches, there's going to be a hole in your bag. So you're going to press these forward and things. So, but we're not going to do that just yet. Don't do that. I was just showing you. On the next front piece, I believe it's the front piece, and it is, make sure you know where your top and your bottom is, and come a 1/2 inch in on the side, score, go to the other side, flip it around, score, done with that piece. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom pocket, except we're going to go around all three. We're going to come to the side 1/2 inch to the bottom and do a 1/2 inch and then turn it around to the side. And you want to make sure that you know what your bottom and your top is again. Right. And this one as well, we're going to want to cut straight across, not into your seam, just like that. So we've done that. Now we want to make it nice and cute. So we have our back piece, our front piece, and our little pocket. So we'll start with the back. I really like this cute little teal piece right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my glue stick, which is a mega. You don't have to have mega, but make sure you're not gluing onto anything else, and just really get a good coverage on, whoops, I even did the whole bottom. Okay, and then we're going to just lay it along, hold on. All right. We could put the date on there. That would be cute. There was like a little date stamp. I hope it'll show up. But if it doesn't, it's going to be all right. So I'm just going to line it up with the edge of my paper. Like that. Press it down. And then this is just like a template now for any kind of pattern. I'm just going to trim off this paper, the excess paper. It's only going to take us like a couple minutes to make this really cute. And I believe they're only like 25 cents a piece of paper at Joann's or Michael's or even Hobby Lobby. And then a lot of times you can find them when they're on sale. That's when I like to get my papers. See, I'm not even going to be able to see that date anyway, but there's the back. So now we're going to do the front piece. This is the top again. I like this red. I'm going to use this red. It's not directional. I really like not directional stuff so I don't get messed up. So this is the front piece, and this, my score is going to be on the inside, so always remember that. You want to do it, put your paper towards, obviously on the outside. Your score lines will be on the inside. So we're good to go with that. I'm going to just line it up with, I have 2 edges here. And you could always reposition and fuss with it. I'm going to go ahead and just keep my pieces like as if, all right, here we go, as if they're front, top side up. I'm going to keep my words going in the same direction. All right, so we'll do the same thing here. I could trim it with my rotary cutter if I wanted to, but this manual works just as good, and it doesn't take very long. And it's nice for you to see that it doesn't take long to do this. I wanted you to see that it's simpler than you might think. Okay, so there's the front. Now we have the front and the back. I don't know if anybody's timing us. I should have said put on a timer, but you'll see that in the video. We'll be able to see in a minute. All right, so this is the front with the score line, and that's the back of the pocket. And I really love this cute little paper right here. So I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to glue this. And see, I've used this before, so you can find pieces maybe in your stash that you've used before. I really love planners and other little pocket letters and stuff like that. You could use scrapbook paper for your, oh, I kind of like that. I kind of like that line. It's not going to work on the bottom. And then there's a hole. Oh, well. All right, let's see where. There we go. You could do, ooh, what am I doing? Y'all stop me, stop me. Okay, I'll use this side. You're like, no, don't do it. Right? You didn't save me. Okay, it's okay. See, it'll dry up. But you could even fussy cut paper. How cute is that? Fussy cutting in the quilting world just means like centering a motif somewhere. This would kind of be hello, follow your dreams. See, it kind of cut that off anyway. That would be a bad fussy cutting job, but I mean this part right here would be a good fussy cutting job right there. But anyway, oops, it ended up being on the right side. You won't see it once it's creased, but that's okay. And here's our pocket. So now we're gonna get to construction. Okie dokie. Here's the fun, crazy part. All right, so you're gonna take your back piece and you're gonna go to your 1-inch creases and we're gonna fold those in. Now I said you could use a butter knife as your bone folder, and you can just use the back of it to flatten. It really doesn't need it, but this is pretty thick. All right, so we're gonna go to the 1-inch over here, fold it in. Should automatically kind of just crease in. And then you're gonna fold this one on the side back. See if we didn't get quite enough of the if we didn't get it really well creased with the when we used it like here to score, if there wasn't enough pressure, it'll be a little bit harder to fold, but that's okay. You just have to really kind of eyeball where your crease is here and just lightly fold it at first. You know, work it where you could go over it again with your ruler, but you can really see. I mean, it should lay right on top of the other one. So we kind of accordioned this. What we're doing now in fabric world, and I've heard it in the paper crafting world, is we are making a gusset for the pocket, which is this cute little guy right here. It gives you room. put all your goodies. So we want to have goodies in there. So now I'm going to take the front piece. I'm going to fold these in. I'm just going to use that bone folder-like situation. And my trusty butter knife. Spread. Okay, and so this is what it's going to do. It's going to hook under here. And then it's going to come right around and hook under here, and you're going to tape it in place. So that's going to be awesome. So I'm going to leave it just like that. So that would be your back. This is your front. I mean, it really doesn't matter if you like the other side. You could honestly decide right now that you wanted the other side to be the front. But I really love this, so I'm gonna keep it. We're gonna just fold in our sides on here and our little pocket, little crease at the bottom, and you'll see that you'll just lay this one right here on the very top. So it's nice and cute, and it's gonna be perfect. Now, this is the fiddly part. So I'm gonna kind of fold that in for a second. I'm gonna take my hem tape. Now you don't want to get in the crease. You don't want to get into that crease down there in the bottom. You do want it to hold, so you want to kind of get, it's about, you know, just a couple centimeters. I mean, centimeters are super small to the right, okay? So now I'm gonna take this off here. Actually, I'm gonna leave it on. I'm gonna leave that on. I'm gonna go ahead and do the bottom. I think that's how this one was so much easier for me. I'm gonna do the bottom. All right. It's okay if it's kind of hanging over. It's gonna work. And then you're just gonna pull away the top, and it's basically gonna leave it sticky. Now you're gonna take the front piece, folding these in here. Well, not really folding those in, just place that. You want to line up your creases just like so. Press it together, okay? And then you're gonna take this guy right here. Ooh, he's trying to stick. Being really careful. I'm gonna slide these. He likes to stick onto everything. Okay. So now we need to get right up to the crease, line up the top, and stick it down. And then fold this in. And you just push it in. It's no big deal. See? Right? And then when it gets on there, you can really press it down. Now you're going to work with this side. This side should be a lot easier to work with. So we have that flap there, this flap, and they're going to fold in. So I'm going to put the paper on this flap here. All right, so, I'm going to put the tape, and then the paper is going to sit on the tape, okay? Okay. You're like, sure, Yvonne, I have no idea what's going on at this point. I'm going to have to rewind. I wish I could come over and help you, but hopefully you're getting what I'm doing. I can't even see the camera at this point. All right, so this is hanging out. I really don't want it to do that. So I'm gonna come back here, and what I'm doing is I'm trimming. I can see the shadow of that tape. You can kind of see it now hanging over, and I want to get rid of it. If a little bit of it's hanging over, that's fine. But, you know, score tape is like 1/4 of an inch, so obviously it would be so easy to use that. But, you know, if you really know me well, I just can't stand doing things the easy way. I'd rather do it without going to spend more money. So I guess it would be the frugal way would be the nice way to put it. The budget-friendly way. I do go on. I think I'm so funny sometimes. Okay, here we go. So we just did like before, and we're sticking, just push that little guy down. And then, see, our little creases are a little bit off, but it's okay. That's what it's all about. It's fun. It's supposed to be an open pocket anyway. All right, so pocket number 1. Woohoo, you guys. On pocket number 1, see, you can make that the front. Still have options, or that the front. I really love this side with the red. I'm feeling the red today. Now, if I really wanted to be cute about it, I have this gold washi here. And if I want to clean up that bottom edge, I think I am just going to go like halfway on the bottom and come around to the back just for some more you know, security. Just give the pocket just a tad security. I don't think you can even see in there. It's not, everything is good. There's no big holes or anything. And honestly, this pocket is gonna sit there, so it's really just gonna be, you know, you're only gonna see it if you go like that. But I like it, and it puts a little trim on the back too. So we're gonna do that. So we're going to, whoops, we're not using that. Okay, so I could show you the double-sided tape way we could do this. It's not terrible, but it doesn't seem as sticky. Okay, so this is a lot fatter, but the thing with double-sided tape is you can bend it back on itself. So we're gonna do that on the side, the bottom, and the 2 sides. It's funny when you know, you're thinking in your head and you're like 2 steps behind when my mouth is speaking, I'm like already ahead of myself. It gets confusing for me. I'm like, ADD, please. Okay. Already moved on. And see, I just bend it back. You don't want it poking out, you know, and you don't want it poking out. So you're going to take your bottom of your bag and the bottom of this little guy here, or girl, whatever it is, in your mind. This little bag. This cute little bag you're making for someone. It's taken us 30 minutes, and that's the joy. You know that they spent definite time thinking of you, and plus I just love these because it's so challenging. So I got the sticky tape to really pretty much stick at the bottom. Now I'm gonna go do the sides. So instead of using my fist, maybe I could just use this again with the bone folder. Whoops, and get this to really stick. Now, perfectionists, you might unstick, stick, unstick. You will be the ones getting the score tape. And honestly, I mean, if this was a seam with fabric, I would be like, oh my gosh, I have to fix it right now. But you know what? I'm okay with it today. So this is the problem with the sticky tape, is it really does not stick super well. So Even though I mean, it will probably get the job done. You could use regular tape. I don't want to use any other tape though on there right now. But it basically does